Today, what I want to talk about is I got a question about impulsive trade. So you know those trades that you take and you shouldn't really take them. You take them because you have emotions or because you feel stressed or because you see a big move and you want to enter right away. And usually those trades are not going to be really, really good. Usually those trades are going to be pretty tough and pretty frustrating. Oftentimes what's happening is you're going to lose even more than if you didn't take the trade. And you're not going to feel good after. So I want to focus on that a little bit today. And what I realized a couple of months ago is that there's pretty much one question you can use that is really going to help you determine if you should enter a trade or not. It's one question. It's really, really simple. And it's asking yourself, when I'm going to look at that trade again at the end of the week or at the end of the day, when I'll do my journaling, how will I feel about taking that trade? Will I feel like I did the right thing, I acted on my plan, and I'm proud of it? Or will I feel bad because I didn't take the right trade, or because I didn't do the right thing, or because I acted out of emotion? So if you can ask yourself that question, then you're going to be able to focus on the right thing. And the power of question is really amazing. It's really huge because you can ask yourself a different question about different things, and you're going to force yourself to figure out what you're supposed to do. And you're going to force yourself to think a little bit more. And oftentimes, I think we're not focused on thinking enough. So we think, but just at the surface level. But when you ask yourself the question and you take time to answer it honestly, how will I feel when I end that trade? How will I feel at the end of this trade? Will I feel proud or will I feel bad? Because you know that bad trades are not feeling good. Like the trade where you don't follow your plan, you don't feel good at the end of the week. You feel pretty bad. So the more you can ask yourself questions like this, the easier it's going to be for you to know exactly what you should do. And then you really avoid yourself getting in bad trades. And speaking of the power of question, there's one other thing I want to talk about. So one thing you can ask yourself is really simple. At the end of every single day or every single week when you trade, you need to ask yourself how you did, how you performed. Three questions you can ask yourself. So what did I do well? What did I do not well? And how can I improve? Let me guide you through an example of this. What did I do well? Well, today, for example, I took the good trade. I respected the plan. I took the setup as I was supposed to do. I prepared myself correctly. What did I do not well? Well, today I took that trade too fast, or I didn't check one rule, or I entered a trade that I should not enter. And then, how can I do better? How can I be better next time? The last question. Well, next time I have to review my plan before I go to trading, or I have to review the plan in the morning. That could be one thing. And think about it, so many people don't do this. So many people are going to go through their day of trading. They're going to feel frustrated because they have bad trade, but they're just going to go to the next trade and then the next one and next one. They're never going to stop and think for a second. Think about how they should be better and what they're doing right. Because every single day in the market, you're doing things right. Every single day in the market, you're probably making mistakes. And you want to make sure that you do your best to fix those mistakes. Because the mistakes you don't fix are the mistakes that are usually going to hurt yourself in the future. Things like not having a plan, not being disciplined. If you don't fix those things, you're not going to perform well in the future. It's going to be much more difficult for you to perform. So I recommend you do this every single week. And even if you want every single day. If you're going to day trade and take multiple trades a day, you have to be willing to reevaluate every single day. And if you do it only as a swing trader, so every week, totally fine. But make sure you have a process to reevaluate how you perform. What did you do well? What did you not do well? And how can you be better next time? And the more accurate you're going to be in the how can you be better next time, the more accurate you're going to be. Meaning, don't say like, well, next time I have to be disciplined. So what does that mean? Be precise. You have to figure out a way. How will I be disciplined? What will I do to be disciplined? Could be to review your plan. Could be to take some breathing before placing a trade. Or asking yourself the question I talked about. If I'm going to review that trade once after it's over, when I review my journal, how will I feel? Will I feel proud or will I feel bad? How is this going to appear in my journal? Is it going to be a trade I'll be frustrated about? Or is it going to be a trade where I'll be happy to have taken that trade, even if it's a loss? Because there's a lot of trades that I take, and I'm happy to take them. Even if I lose them, I'm happy to have put the trade in because I know it's a good trade. But if you know it's a bad trade, you need to force yourself to ask yourself the question and to take a moment to pause and reflect. And that's going to make a big difference for you guys. And speaking of this, there's one other thing I can talk about. Van Tarp talks about the fact that you're basically not trading the market. You're trading your beliefs. And if you believe that you're not disciplined, or that you take impulsive trades, or that you cannot respect your plan, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna do exactly the same thing because you trade what you believe. And the best thing to do at this point, if you don't have good belief, is to examine what you have, what you believe at this moment. You believe that your system is good. You believe that the market is messy. You believe that you're doing something every day to improve. What do you believe? And there could be many, many things. Like, it's not gonna be one thing. It's gonna be a series of things. But the more you can identify this, the more you can figure out why what you're doing is what you're doing. So why do you do what you do? Because your beliefs are gonna impact how you perform and ultimately your profit. So if you don't do the right things, and if you don't believe the right thing, it's gonna be much more difficult for you to perform as a trader and to do well as a trader. I don't know when I said that, but whenever you look at like a movie or something, right? The trader is not gonna be the trader with. It's not gonna be someone who's thinking and who's taking action slowly and thinking things through. It's usually gonna be the guy who's acting out of impulse, doing fast moves, and making money. But in real life, it's not the way it works. And that's why I remember the post I talk about it is a post about checklist, about having a checklist. And whenever you trade, you're never gonna see traders in movies that have a checklist or that follow a plan. You're usually gonna see the people who act quickly and take big trades and go all in to make money, right? But it's not the same way in real life. It's a whole different game. So if you can only like readjust yourself to using a checklist or asking yourself question, or even as we talked about, being around other traders, if you can readjust yourself, you're gonna make yourself a huge favor because then you really get in the game of trading. The game of trading is a game where you plan, you think things through, and you are aware when you trade. You are present. Okay, so that's a whole different game compared to what we see in movies. That's gonna make a huge difference if you can only apply that. You guys probably got an email from me recently about the academy. If you're on the mailing list, but I'm gonna do a nice promotion for the holiday season. You can get a lifetime membership for the price of a yearly one, which is pretty good. And if you guys have any question about this, let me know. I'll do my best to help you out with that. And in the meantime, guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.